this video, I'm going to show you how I brainstorm using just any notebook and how you could do it too for any project, any task, and basically anything. Welcome to Efficiency and Organization, where we talk about anything and everything that has to do with being productive, well organized, efficient, having good systems and plans in place to be able to accomplish anything you want to and be successful. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to brainstorm, and I'm going to give two very specific examples. So here's my first example. I'm going to say that we are going to organize an event. And let's say the event, we're just going to make it up, has to do with you putting together a 4-hour time frame during which at work all employees need to have their pictures taken. Okay, 4-hour photo session at work. So the first thing we want to do, step A, is write the title of the project or task. Next, it's really overwhelming when you haven't done something like this before to get it started. So here's what you do. You put a big circle and you say event. Then you have to start writing out everything that can come to your mind that you need to put together, that you need to organize. So for example, who's gonna take the pictures? Do you need a camera? Do you need developing, or are you going to outsource it? Are you gonna have somebody like a cameraman or a photographer? So that's number one. Then you might, and these don't have to go in order. That's the beauty of it. Okay, or just anything that comes to mind, you write it down. What did I just say? Write it down. And again, I'm going to repeat, write it down. It's because a lot of us don't want to go through this process of writing. We want our brain to somehow do all this, and our brain gets overloaded with way too much stuff. And so that's why, to be very organized, we have to write these things down. So the next thing that I might need, I'm just thinking out loudly here, I might need space. So where am I going to do it? Do I have a room? Am I going to reserve it? So I'm going to write reserve. But basically, the first thing was writing the title. The second thing, which is B, is writing everything you can think of that you need to do beforehand. And then the last thing is going to be to put in order. Okay, so what I would probably do first is not necessarily the space, but my first thing would be to find a photographer. Ask them what day and time would work best for them. Come up with maybe a couple of choices. And then based on that, decide if we have a room available. Set it on the calendar, the date and time, and send out invitations. So in the last 4 or 5 minutes, I was able to plan something that's complicated and get it done, all because of this very organized, systematic process. I use something like this. This is a pocket folder, and I've talked about these in previous videos. So I take a checklist. So much like what you see here, I write them here. So let's say this is a fundraiser project. So remember how I wrote the A here? That would be the same as the title here. Then I write all the steps, and then as I accomplish each, I go ahead and check them off. Very nice, again, organized, systematic process. Now I'm going to give you the second example as promised, and I'm going to share in the description some links to things you might need. Like for instance, I said scan, so I'll have a link to a scanner that you can use. Notebook, also the pocket folder. So check out the description of the video for those. I get almost everything from Amazon. So this one's going to be for a business, okay? I'm going to say start home-based business. So this is a very complicated, much more complicated thing to do than what we just talked about. But guess what? It all starts with brainstorming. So I'm going to write brainstorm. What kind of a business? Okay, question mark. Now, because we're just coming up with some realistic ideas, what I would do is put the lines and just come up with some things that I might be good at. For instance, you might be good at photography and you might want to start a business like that. Maybe you want to start a real estate business. Maybe you want to start a bookkeeping business. So dig deep into what you are good at, what hobbies you have, and write those down. Maybe you want to be a consultant because you know how to do a certain thing that a lot of organizations need help with, such as creating a website, right? Or creating YouTube videos. Maybe you want to have a home-based baking business. So what are you good at? That's what you would brainstorm. The next thing is going to be to decide probably like the next step. So maybe depending on how much money you have to start the business, that would be the ones you would pursue. So if I'm doing the brainstorming, I would take the ones that I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I want to start a consulting business or a bookkeeping business because I have the skills already and because this is something I could do without having a location. If I get a location, like for instance, if I want to have a bakery, that requires me to have a location. Whereas with these two, I already have everything. So that might be something that might play into it. So then I would probably write those, like the ones I'm gonna, let's say, focus on, and then come up with next steps as to what it is that I need to do next. But basically, this would be the brainstorming part. So as you could see, brainstorming is an awesome tool because it lets you come up with ideas and just jot everything down, bring it from the brain onto the paper, and then once you have it down, you can really narrow down more. So it starts big and narrows down more and more. I love the concept of brainstorming, and I hope you found these videos helpful and useful. If there's something in particular that you want to start that you just don't know how, whether it's a project, whether it's a task, whether it's an idea, please make sure you comment so that way I can make a video that is specific for you, because if you're having a need, chances are many others are also having the same need, and I could respond and I can also focus on making videos for that. That's all I have for this video, and I will catch you in the next one.